It's a great day, sports world. What's up to all the sports lovers, the haters, the addicts, and the fanatics out there? This is Larry Patterson from GT365. It's Game Time 365 Sports right here on the GTSN. That's the Game Time Sports Network. We're back. We told you we'll be back, and we are back. We are doing AFC and NFC West draft recap today. Amon, we back, man. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm doing all right, man. I had a good day yesterday talking about the AFC and NFC East, man. Then we're gonna just keep this train moving, and we're gonna talk about the West.
All right, let's get right to it. Let's start with the Arizona Cardinals here. At round three of first round, third pick, they took a very surprising pick in which me and you we both surprised by this a little bit. Running back Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame. They came back in round two, pick 34. They got the offensive guard Chase Bisontis out of Texas A&M. We thought that they were going to take a tackle, potential tackle, maybe CC Manoa in the first round to kind of shore up the offensive line, but they did it in the second. Third round, they took the quarterback Carson Beck out of Miami and pick 65. And the fourth round, pick 104, defensive tackle Caleb Proctor out of Southeastern Louisiana. In the fifth round, pick 143, wide receiver Reggie Virgil out of Texas Tech. In the sixth round, pick 183, linebacker Carson Shar out of Iowa. And in the seventh round, pick 217, offensive tackle Jaden Williams out of Ole Miss. The Jeremiah Love one was a little bit of surprise because you bought in Tyler Algier in free agency, and then you signed James Conner back. So now you have a three-headed running back room right now. And then you also have Trey Benson back there as well. Was this the right move for the Cardinals, in your opinion?
Was it the right move? It's hard to say right now because you have so many criticisms of bad teams taking running backs first in the first round. You can say about the Raiders last year taking Genty at 6, the Falcons taking Bijan at 7 a couple years ago, and then San Francisco 49ers taking CMC back in
2016,
2017 in the top 10. It's hard to say right now, but for Arizona, I understood. We questioned it. We were surprised, but I understand it now because you need, as a bad football team, you need talent, abrupt, all across the board on your roster, and that's the only way you make your roster great is you collect talent. And Jeremiah Love, it depends on who you talk to. He was the best player in the draft to some, mock guys, some national media. He was the best player in the draft. And to get him at 3, and me watching his film, being how dynamic he is, he put you in that Bijan realm. He's that kind of a talent. And I always say, don't let good stop you from drafting great. Yes, we know we got Tyler Algier, James Conner, Trey Benson from a couple years ago in Florida State, but Bijan is one of these every 5-10 year type running backs, and you just can't leave that sitting on the board. And you got to give Arizona some excitement, and also you got building blocks with Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, and you add a dynamic weapon like Jeremiah Love in your backfield. Hey man, that's something that not to shake a stick at if you're a Cardinals fans, looking forward to the future.
Yeah, like you said, those running backs wouldn't be stopping me from taking him if I had the opportunity. And so I question it, but at the same time, once you get to the mid part of the season, you see him out here just making those plays, and you're like, okay, I see why they did that. And in a couple of years, we see him as one of the best running backs in the league, versatile. You can use him in the pass game as well. So people may question it, but big up to the Cardinals for making that move instead of just staying plain Jane. But then another question I have for you, Carson Beck. Will will we be seeing Carson Beck? In your opinion, will we be seeing
Mhm.
Carson Beck this season on the
For
field?
sh- for sure, you'll be seeing Carson back. Yes, and we know we got Jacoby Brissett there, we got Gardner Minshew there, but we all know that's not your long term answers. And you draft Carson back in the third round with a little hope that he has a little glimpse of, hey, can be a high end backup potential starter. Um, and sometimes, like we said yesterday on to yesterday's episode, that sometimes you hit lightning in a bottle with mid to late round picks and they become franchise starter. He has experience. He's played at Georgia. He's played at Miami for the last 3 or 4 years. So he has college experience. He won a couple national championships, been in a national championship in the past. So he has over 30 plus starts, and that's what you want to see going into the NFL that can handle the game right now. So hopefully, I don't say he won't start. He's not going to start probably the first half of the season, but definitely probably the second half of the season when they're probably out of playoff contention and picking in that top 5 range. You'll see him get thrown out there and see what you have, going into next year. Because if he looks decent, hey, you might be able to say, hey, we might be able to run it back one more year just to make sure we have something to Carson back at 27. And if not in 27, 2028 for sure, you'll be in the quarterback market with the Arizona Cardinals.
And then they add Reggie Virgil, 6'3", receiver to the receiving room with Marvin Harrison and Michael Wilson and Trey McBride and all those other guys. So, uh, what else excites you about this draft here?
Yeah, showing up the offensive line, for the Arizona Cardinals. I like to Chase Basante's pick. I think I had him mocked to Houston in the first round at one point.
Yeah, you did.
But they went Keelan Rutledge at that spot. So um, but either way, he was deserving of he dang near went in the first round. He went at pick 34. So that's 2 picks out of the first round. So I really do like that pick as well. Building the trenches. If it can go wrong building the trenches. And then to go get Reggie Virgil at Texas Tech, 6'3". Got a little speed to him, a little raw route runner, but hey, you want to keep amplifying that wide receiver room to get the best 11 out there in the field as possible. So, and they got a good wide receiver room there with Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison. He can be back to that guy he was 3 years ago at Ohio State. I think they'll be cooking with gas here in the next year or two.
Yeah. All right. I think we of course we haven't really touched on Caleb Proctor. I haven't really watched any film on him or the other guys. But anything else you want to add to this room before we move on?
Nah, we can move on.
All right, going to the Los Angeles Rams here. They only had 5 picks in the first round. They took their quarterback of the future, I guess. And Ty Simpson from Alabama at pick 13. I did have them mocked. I want to say in mock 3.
It was 1.0 you had him too.
One point. Well, I really.
Yeah, I think so. 1.0, I think you had Ty Simpson mocked at him as well.
We'll have to go back and roll the tapes on that one. We'll check the vault out later on. But I think I want to say in 3.0, I had him going to the Rams there, and I'm gonna get your perspective on that one in a little bit. Second round pick 61, they took Max Clare out of Ohio State. Bronco fan here. I wanted him, but hey. Third round pick 93, offensive tackle Keegan Trost out of Missouri. And the sixth round pick 197, wide receiver CJ Daniels out of Miami. And in the seventh round pick 232, defensive tackle Tim Keenan III out of Alabama. Like to get your thoughts here on the Ty Simpson pick, and what does this mean for the Rams' future?
Well, the Rams, I hated it at first, but I
Because
understood
you
it.
thought they wanted you thought they should have got a weapon.
Yeah, I thought they should have got a weapon. Now, you know me, I thought they should have went in all in to get a Lemon or Tate or one of those wide receivers that was there available for them at that time, which was Lemon pretty much because Tyson and Tate were gone by pick 8. So I was always thinking, hey, get a weapon, get an offensive line to, show up, keep Matthew Stafford upright. But, once I think about it, uh, I, I understand it. I understand the pick, knowing he only had 1 year of full starters at Alabama. His first 9 games, he was on fire. He was like 8-1, 9-0, until he got to the second half of the season. He started seeing some stuff not going his favor. The run game at Alabama wasn't the greatest. Ryan Williams wasn't the Ryan Williams 2 years ago. Jeremy Bernard stepped up for him. So the offense kind of let him down outside of Jeremy Bernard a little bit. The offensive line wasn't the same Alabama offensive line that we normally have. Kalen DeBoer coming over from Washington, putting his stamp on things. It wasn't the Nick Saban Alabama Crimson Tide as we grew up to know. But we know Stafford's 39. He coming to the end of his career. He may play 1 or 2 more years. So you probably want to get your future in there. And there were some good quality traits that Ty Simpson has showed on tape, to where he's an anticipatory passer. He can layer throws. He has an NFL arm. His dad coached at Tennessee's, somewhere in Tennessee at a college rank. So he has his mind's prepared for the NFL game. And I feel like sometimes it's best to take a quarterback before you need one. And I think this is exactly what the Rams did in that case. So once the transition from Stafford to Simpson in probably a year or two, hopefully McVay is still coaching by that time. If not, he has some assistants coaches that will take his spot that are well equipped right now. That was in the coaching cycle last cycle. So, man, I think they're setting themselves up for the future. I would love to see them get something for the immediate now to help them win a Super Bowl. But hey, man, you can't go wrong. This reminds me of the Packers going from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. Look, and like we've said, Mr. Rollback, he can attest to this. They haven't had a quarterback issue since 1990, whatever Brett Favre been there. They've always had that next guy up, and I think this is a little reincarnation for the Rams of having the next guy up and having him sitting waiting in the rings, ready to roll 2027 potentially.
And if there's any coach that you trust to put a quarterback in a position,
it's McVay.
It's McVay, and that whole McVay. I don't think they get they get credit, but I don't think they get enough credit for the way that they develop, with the way that they draft, and the way that they develop players. Remember back then, a couple years ago, when they was like after them picks, and it was grabbing guys in the second and third round, and so forth on. and developing it in these games and going on deep playoff runs. So for them to get that quarterback of the future at 13, hey, I think they did a solid job with this one right here. And then Max Clare, you get a big body, tight end in there with 6'5", 243. So he's done over there at Ohio State. And then, you got Tyler Higbee there now. And, you drafted Terrence Ferguson there last year. So, you can never get enough tight ends. You get you a offensive tackle in the later rounds, or in the third round. C.J. Daniels. They did get a weapon in C.J. Daniels. How you feel about that one?
Yeah, C.J. Daniels pretty decent from Miami. I want to say he transferred from Liberty to LSU, then LSU to Miami. I could be wrong. It might be the other guy, but he flashed in big moments at times on the way to Miami's national championship run. He had some good spots at LSU as well when he was there. So yeah, it's a weapon. Everybody would like to see the lemons of the world, but hey, I understand it. Devontae is getting up there in age. Puka, he's on the he's wild card with Puka. So hey, man, you just want to have somebody there to develop, and we know Sean McVay, he get the most out of what he has, because we know he drafted Puka in the 5th round, and Puka up here for a $40 million contract at the end of the season. So hey, throw darts at the board and see what sticks.
Ooh, and then the Tim Keenan pick, the 7th round. That could be something as well. Like I said, they develop players well over there. And I wouldn't be surprised if, later on this year or next year, Tim Keenan, being a productive player in that offense. I mean, in that defense.
Yep.
So I think we pretty much tacked on everything here on the Rams. Let's go to the 49ers here. Then they moved back in the second round. Pick 33, the first pick in the second round. They took Deshaun Stribling, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. A lot of 49er fans weren't really happy about that one, but I can see the vision there. Two third-round picks at pick 70. They had defensive end Romello Height out of Texas Tech, and pick 90, running back Kalen Black out of Indiana, national champion Indiana. Three fourth-round picks at 107, defensive tackle Grayson Halton out of Oklahoma. Pick 127, offensive tackle Carver Willis out of Washington. And pick 139, cornerback Ephesians Prisic out of
Prashot. It's
Washington.
Prashot. That's how you pronounce it. Ephesians Prashot. Yeah, out of Washington.
And then they finished up with two fifth-round picks, 154, linebacker Jaden Duggar out of Louisiana, and pick 179, offensive tackle Enrique Cruz out of Kansas. Kyle Shanahan is another one that gets a lot of credit for, the way he develops players. And, that the 49ers do also get a lot of players injured as well. So what you think about the Stribling pick there, being that Jawan Jennings is now gone, Debo, he left last year. What is to make out of this wide receiver room that the 49ers have?
Yeah, man, it's interesting, man, because you're drafting Deshaun Stribling to be Jawan Jennings' replacement. They're dang near the same height and the same weight, so you're drafting his replacement.
He can
And then
ball.
he can ball too. He hadn't production at Ole Miss like that, but he had games where I think he had maybe 1 or 2 games where he went over 100 yards. But they saw something in him and they went there. It went a little high. I don't think nobody had him marked this high. So what I mean is he's not might, but he was very high on San Francisco's radar for sure. And then for this wide receiver core, you got to get something out of Ricky Pearsall, your first round pick from a couple years ago. So you got Kittle coming off an Achilles, CMC getting up there in the age. So you got to get younger on this offense. And we hoping Pearsall and Stribling can be the 1-2 for the 49ers because, the Brandon Ayuk situation, he's not going to be playing for the 49ers anymore. They're just playing chicken with the league so who can give up something, but the league knows they don't want to give up anything for him. So are you going to release him? What's going to happen, though? But yeah, man, that's how I feel about the Stribling. Then we'll get Romello Hyatt at pick 70, I want to say. Yeah, he was opposite of David Bailey, so he got after it at Texas Tech with David Bailey. He can give you some in the run game and a little bit of juice off the edge as well. And to get Kalen Black in the third round, I'm just gonna say this right there, Larry. You may agree with me. From Alfred Morris to Christian McCaffrey, it don't matter who line up at running back for Kyle Shanahan. He normally make it work. Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon, it don't matter who. He seems like, a running back fits his system to a T. So I expect Kalen Black to come in there and be productive as a rookie in the third round and contribute to spell Christian McCaffrey. And then go get Grayson Halton.
Oh,
Go ahead in the fourth round out of Oklahoma. He's got a little pass rush upside. So with a little more development, he may become a full-time starter on the defensive line along with Michael Williams and Nick Bosa. So yeah, man, I'm really, really, really excited about this. It wasn't the sexiest draft class by any means, but we got some productive players. Rounds 2, 3, and 4 that can come in and contribute right away to this roster.
And going back to the receivers, forget that they did bring in Mike Evans, they did bring in Christian Kirk. As you alluded to, Ayuk still in the roster, but it's a waiting date pretty much for him. And like you said, who's going to be giving up what? Drafted Jordan Watkins out of Ole Miss last year, and still have Jacob Pallet on the roster as well. So Pearsall probably would be a breakout year for Pearsall.
Hopefully.
Um, when you talked about the running backs, guaranteed. If you look at if you even go back and look at the stats from year to year since Kyle been there, running backs over 4.0 yards per carry, 4.1, 4.2, so on. It's guaranteed. Just how that system rolls. Um, but to get you a Caleb Black there to help add to that, you drafted Isaac Garendo last year, so I think each year they're going to continue to keep that trend, whether it's running backs or wide receivers, or adding to the offensive line like they did with Carver Willis and Enrique Cruz, like just adding guys. You got you two, and now preseason training camp, you roll two out there and see which one works. So
because we all thought they were going to go offensive line because they had a big contract dispute with Trent Williams. It was time to move on, but obviously they kicked that can down and rolled to another date. So but yeah, man, like they can plug me back there and play running back. I can get 500 yards now. It's just something about his system that works. So
yeah,
definitely be interesting.
Maybe I could average 3.8.
Well, if I get 2.5, I'm good, bro. I'm cool.
You got anything else for the 49ers?
Nah, man, I don't.
Going to the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. First round, they did keep the pick 32, and they drafted Jadarian Price, running back out of Notre Dame. He backed up Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame. And remember when the Seahawks, before the draft kicked off, they only had 4 draft picks.
Yeah.
And then they ended up with 9. So then in the second round, pick 64, they took safety Bud Clark out of TCU. Third round, pick 99, cornerback Julian Neal out of Arkansas. In the fifth round, pick 148, offensive guard Bo Stevens out of Iowa. In the sixth round, pick 199, wide receiver Emmanuel Henderson Jr. out of Kansas. And 3 7th-round picks at 236, cornerback Andre Fuller out of Toledo, defensive tackle Devin Eastern out of Minnesota, and then cornerback Michael Dansby out of Arizona. That rounds up their draft. So I think the move here with Jadarian Price to replace Kenneth Walker, you also still have what's my other guy name? I'm blanking on his name.
Michigan guy, Zach Charbonnet.
Zach Charbonnet. He had the injury last year as well, so there's no telling if he'll be ready for the start of training camp and whatnot. But what's your thoughts? Did the Seattle Seahawks make the right move at running back with pick 32?
Yeah, man, they kind of had to go running back because they lost Kenneth Walker to the Kansas City Chiefs in the offseason. And I like Kenneth. I told you, I think off camera, that I like Jadarian Price coming out of school as well. Like, he spelled Jeremiah Love, and he can do just as just as much damage as Jeremiah Love do, especially in the special teams. He's a demon. So I thought they would trade back from this spot to collect more picks in the first round, but they end up doing it later on in the draft. And for them to get Bud Clark, he's a little undersized as a safety, but once again, they want to be versatile in the backfield. They lost a couple defensive backs to free agency, so you got to fill that void. And yeah, man, it's just building a deep roster. You lose most of your staff to new coaching opportunities. You lose your offensive coordinator. So, you just got new guys coming in trying to, fill that role and get their guys in the building and continue to see if they can two-peat this thing.
And Seattle, it wouldn't be Seattle if they didn't draft a couple guys in the secondary, ran it out with Bud Clark, first of all, and Julian Neal, and then Andre Fuller. Oh, and then Michael Dansby in the 7th round. You get to roll those guys out there and see what's what. Also, Devin Eastern, defensive tackle. You know, they wouldn't go a draft without drafting somebody
Somebody in
sure.
the trenches, absolutely.
Exactly. And then, you know, with the Bo Stevens pick out of Iowa, you know, Iowa guys, offensive lineman heaven over there. So, and then to get you a wide receiver in the 6th round, who knows how that's going to pan out. So I think they did excellent job of just addressing needs in this draft, pretty much.
Yep.
Let's go. Well, you know, we know where we got to go now. So, let's go. Let's go Raiders.
Hey.
No, let's go Broncos. Shit, we won the West. So,
I mean, if you want to, yeah, if you want, hey, let's start with the AFC West. AFC West champions for the first time in 9 years. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You just had to throw that out there, right?
Hey, man, we ain't won it since, so whatever. So it's cool.
Yeah. 3rd round, we didn't get a pick into the 3rd round. We traded the 2nd round pick that we had. So pick 66, Tyler Onyeto, the defensive tackle out of Texas A&M. He can move. Good in the run game. You know, young. He can move. He can replace John Franklin Myers. I can see. And then going in the 4th round, pick 108. It took Jonah Coleman out of Washington. I love the pick. I would have rather had Mike Washington, and we'll talk about Mike Washington here in a minute. But I'm not mad at the Jonah Coleman pick. I can see the vision with that one. In the 4th round, pick 111, Cage Casey out of Boise State, offensive tackle. That is your Garrett Bowles replacement. I can see in about a year or so. He can play. He can also play guard as well. So you know he can move. He didn't allow many sacks at Boise State. Last year I don't think he allowed any. So you know I like that move for the trenches there. In the 5th round, pick 152. It took Justin Jolie out of NC State. Big tight end, wide receiver type body. Good in the receiving game. Got a big 10-inch hand, you know, so he, you know, good catch radius as well. So he's gonna be great for the pass game. He can also do some blocking too. So that's more like an extra offensive lineman. And then 3 7th round picks at 246, safety Miles Scott out of Illinois. He a ball hawk, hard hitter as well. I like it. He got an excellent motor. I love his energy. And then you also get another tight end in Dalen Bentley out of Utah, big body. He can catch as well. Another extra offensive lineman. And then in the 7th round, you take Red Murdoch, linebacker out of Buffalo, by way of Petersburg High School, Hopewell.
Hey.
So, in 12 forced fumbles in his career at Buffalo, he's got 2 or 3 years of 100+ tackles. So like he's got just high motor energy. That's what we've been needing for a while in Denver. We haven't had that good inside linebacker since probably DJ Williams, Al Wilson days. So I think it wasn't sexy. It's not sexy, but it addressed needs, and that's a team that went to that was a game away from the Super Bowl. They addressed the needs that they needed to do.
Yeah, man. Like, if you pull that graphic back up again, I'm really not excited about this draft class, and the only reason why I'm not excited because I'm more excited about Jalen Waddle being added to this fray. You know, because that's them. And like I said yesterday, that's their first round pick to me, Jalen Waddle. What can he do to take this offense to the next level for Bo Nix? You know, you got your Cortland Sutton, you got your tight end. We ain't gonna say his name. Then you got Jalen Waddle. You got Lil Jordan Humphrey. I don't know if he's still there. Then you got Troy Franklin. You got Troy Franklin. So you got your wide receiver core is more legit now. Now we just need Cortland Sutton to stop dropping passes in crucial moments, and you got your field stretcher and can do everything in the middle at Jalen Waddle. So yeah, man, it's about. I think this draft was about Jalen Waddle being the 30th overall pick for them and giving them that extra push you need to get to the Super Bowl, which I hopefully it don't happen in my lifetime ever again. But hey,
Wait,
you can't get mad at the Broncos and Patton going out and everybody was pissed at Patton beginning of the offseason. He ain't making no moves. He ain't making no moves, and then boom, a couple weeks before the draft, they trade for Jalen Waller, which was a great move in my opinion. So I hope this draft class sucks. I hope it doesn't do what it says. I hope they all get cut and don't make the roster. But hey man, this class is all about Jalen Waddle, and he can't be that missing piece to get them over the top to the next game, which is Super Bowl.
yeah, the other offense, the other off-season move that they did make was getting Tyson Anderson. It was safety depth, but more so special in special teams. He was a special teams ace out there in Cincinnati last year. So that's other than Jalen Waddle, that's the only move that they made. And I'm hearing down the pike there could be another move. I don't know exactly when that was. Thought it would be at the draft, but that didn't happen. But we got some good young guys here that's going to help us. That's going to help us, complete the mission, and that's winning our fourth Super Bowl, going to our 10th. So, I think the Broncos did a good job here. Going on to let's go to Raiders here, and they had the first pick in the draft, and probably they have the first pick in the draft next year as well. The cornerback Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. In the second round, pick 38, they took Tredan Dukes out of Arizona, safety. Two third-round picks, 67 defensive end, Keron Crawford out of Auburn. And pick 91, center Trey Zoom? Is it Zoom?
Mm-hmm. Zoom. Yeah.
The third out of Texas A&M. Two fourth-round picks at 101, cornerback Jamal McCoy out of Tennessee. Love to get your perspective on that one. At pick 122, running back Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas. I'm so mad at that. Two fifth-round picks at 150, safety Dalton Johnson out of Arizona. At pick 175, cornerback Hezekiah Masters out of California. And a sixth-round pick at 195, wide receiver Malik Benson out of Oregon. You were kind of excited about that one. And pick 229, defensive tackle Brandon Cleveland out of NC State. You'll be in Vegas in about a couple weeks or so, right? Is there any chance that we could be talking to some Raider insiders out there?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be boots on the ground out there the first week of June, and hopefully I can stumble across somebody that is just plugged in with the team. That's the goal. I'm gonna have some free time, so I'm gonna be doing a little snooping and running around while I'm out there here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, man, I want to hear your perspective on this draft class, and then I'm going to talk about the draft class and answer any questions that you may have for me.
So you get your quarterback of the future, and of course the plan is for Kirk Cousins to start, and I'm not mad at that. But I do expect to see Fernando at some point this season, as you same way. You think the same way about that. You get Tredan Stukes out of Arizona. I like this pick safety, the safety pick right there. He's elusive. He can move. So I do like that one right there. And then to get Jamal McCoy, a cornerback that a lot of people had in the first round, but then he had the injury history or the injury concern, for him to fall to the fourth. If he gets right, I feel like you a steal right here, especially for where you got him at. And to get Mike Washington, I mean, he's 6'2". I don't exactly know the weight, but he's fat. He ran a 4.2, I believe. I love Mike Washington, I would have loved him better in Denver, but now he's on the turn to have his career just go down the wings, man. When you playing out there and you playing in that silver and black, man, you can expect every year to just be a damn to be a downturn. But
That's tough, boy. That's tough.
I had to get you back, man. And then you get Malik Benson, wide receiver out of Oregon. So like I think overall, and you get you a center in the third round. So I thought you got a center in free agency, or was that a guard?
Who was the
The guy from the Ravens. That's a guard, right?
He's a center. He's a center.
So you're drafting Trey Zoom for guard.
Correct.
Okay, got you. So overall, I think you guys did an excellent job of just attacking the needs that you needed to attack there. And then you still go trenches with Karan Crawford out of Auburn. So I think you guys did an excellent job of just attacking the needs. And then with who's your Kubiak, his first tenure there as head coach to grab those guys. I think you did an excellent job. Oh, also Brady in the room as well. So I know this probably be going on about 10 minutes here. So you can go ahead, man. How you feel about this draft?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm excited for this class right here. I'm glad,
Want me to keep the graphic up?
You keep it up. You can I credit John Spacek for addressing the secondary. We know drafting a safety, a corner. You draft two safeties and two cornerbacks, right? In this year's cycle. That goes to show you what he thought about the secondary room last year in Vegas. It wasn't that great. So I mean, you got to get younger there. You got to put emphasis on the part of the football team that struggles, and he did that. Getting Stooks in the second round, getting McCoy by the grace of God in the fourth round. Dalton Johnson that played alongside Stooks at Arizona, so they already have some rapport as two safeties, and then Hezekiah Massis out of California that flashed on tape. He's a smart corner. So I applaud Spytek for attacking the weakness of the Raiders football team. And like you said, to get Malik Benson in the sixth round, he ran like a 4.2, 4.3. Larry, he reminds me of a faster Nelson Aguilar. Does you remember Nelson Aguilar from the Philly days?
Yeah.
And when he was with the Raiders, he's a little fat. He puts me in that mind frame of Nelson Aguilar. So I do like that comp a little bit. And then Mendoza, he speaks for himself. We don't even have to go on about him. His work speaks for itself. And to get Kieran Crawford in the third round, another pass rusher, you got Malcolm Koonce signed a 1 year, $11 million deal. He coming off a ACL from 2 years ago. He hasn't shook back to be himself. We signed Kwity Paye, so we get a lot more depth in the pass rusher room then. So along with Max Crosby and those boys, so that's he's going to be a developmental guy. He's twitchy. He has some upside. He can defend the run. He played opposite of what's my guy from Tennessee that got drafted in the first round?
Hood?
No, not Hood.
Not Hood.
The pass rusher. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but it'll come to me. But yeah, he played opposite of him. So yeah, man, it's definitely exciting times in Vegas. But we, what I'm saying, we have to put it on paper now. It's on paper, then we got to put it on the field. So we'll see what happens, man. They took Keldrick Falk. That's who it was. Keldrick Falk. They took him the top back end. He played opposite of Keldrick Falk last year. So, yeah, man, he popped off the tape. And Traydon Stooks, he was, high, came up through the cycle late. He's a little older prospect. He's 24. So, he has, room to grow. So, but, to the McCoy thing, right? That's the crux of this whole class. To get a top 10 player and pick 101 of injury concern, it's all depending on what the team doctors think. Because they say he might need a knee plug, and we're not doctors, so we don't know the extent of how that works. But I feel like if McCoy comes in, maybe he don't. I believe they don't play him this year. I think they redshirt him this year and roll him out there in 2027. That's my belief right now, until I see otherwise. But I think, if you can get, I feel like for where you got McCoy, if you can get his rookie contract out of him and he doesn't play after that, I still think it's worth the gamble. You know what I mean? Because that's
For sure.
3 or 4 years that you're going to get out of this guy at a high level. So, I mean, when he was there, when you texted me and said we took McCoy, I was at work and I was like, what? I couldn't believe it, man. So, yeah, all in all, it's another building block for the Raiders draft class to pair with 2025 draft class. And so we'll see what happens here in come training camp and mini camp and OTAs here in a couple months.
Yeah, like you were saying, if his rookie contract, if he balls out, it's like, man, it's a hell of a steal. And
Yeah.
you don't have to have that first round, that fifth year option. You don't even have to go through those worries. But if it doesn't work out and the injuries are still there and it just doesn't pan out, then it's like, hey, it was a fourth round pick.
You can't get mad at somebody or a team for taking a talent of that nature because of people's being in. It's worth a flyer in the third round. It's worth a flyer in the fourth round. Hell, you can even say it's worth a flyer in the second round, depending on what team you ask. I just think a guy of that magnitude, that skill, that talented to fall that far, it's a lose-lose. It's a win-win for the Raiders. If he works out and he plays 4 years, that's the average career of an NFL player is 3.5, 4 years. That's a win automatically, just him being drafted alone at pick 101. But I'm not gonna go on about the Raiders because I could talk all day, but I know we got 2 other teams to get to, so we can wrap this thing up because we know lives are busy around here.
Yeah. I'm Ashton Genty had a pretty good season in his rookie year, and then if Mike Washington comes behind him and
Oh, it's
man, I'm not too happy about that.
Mike Washington's like 6'2", 6'3", 225 pounds and run a 4.34. Just to give you a little insight of what's coming your way.
I thought it was a 4.2.
It was 4. It's like 4.3.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, that's still fast. 4.2, 4.3. We'll never run in our lifetime. That's still fast. So
yeah. I'm more like in the 10. So
I'm a 5 some change. I ain't gonna short myself. You can short yourself. I ain't. I'm dusting you. 10 y'all slip about to be nuts. But whatever.
going to the Los Angeles Chargers here. I think they had a pretty decent draft here. First round, pick 22, they took defensive end Akeem Mesidor, defensive end, offensive outside linebacker out of Miami. At pick 63 in the second round, took center Jake Slaughter out of Florida. 3 fourth-round picks at 105. Wide receiver Brandon Thompson out of Mississippi State. I seen the film on him. He's twitchy, man, and somebody you can use in the special teams as well. You can, I think Mississippi State put him on some jet sweeps as well. So like he's going to be something sneaky here to watch. Pick 117 offensive tackle Travis Burke out of Memphis. Pick 131 safety Genesis Smith out of Arizona. I thought he would go a little bit before where he went in the fourth round. In the fifth round, pick 145. They took defensive tackle Nick Barrett out of South Carolina. 2 sixth-round picks at 202 offensive guard Logan Taylor out of Boston College, and then at 206 offensive guard Alex Harkey out of Oregon. Did the Chargers make the right move? I think they made the right move here, going with a pass rusher in the first round to get some pressure on their defense. What you think?
Yeah, I think they did the right thing. You took Mesidor here at 22. He's a little older, but I don't really care about the old adage or whatever. I don't care about that. He's ready to go right now. We know the Chargers are a playoff team, and they need ready to go polished pass rushers, right? Well, not polished, but refined pass rushers right now to go. So if you had told me that Bain was here at 22, you take him, but you taking one of the pass rushers. I remember I was an advocate of Caden McDonald right here as well, but he went in the second round in Houston. But for the rest of this draft, I'm not really sure about the Chargers in the rest of this draft. I think Jake Slaughter went a little higher than I wanted him to go. He's played guard in and at Florida, and he's moving to center. I don't know how that's going to shake out for him. And Brendan Thompson, I know you say he'll twitch you or whatever, and he can fly, but he's 164 pounds. So I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know how that beating is going to hold up. What they're going to ask him to do, and being light frame like that, you're liable to get hurt. So I don't know how that's going to. I don't know how that's going to shake out for them. And then Genesis Smith, I think this is where he should have went. He can cover, but he can't tackle as well as I would like. So there was some, outside of the Akeem Messidor pick at 22, there was a couple picks that I wasn't sure about. Brendan Thompson being light like that, Jake Slaughter transition from guard to center, and then Genesis Smith and his tackling ability. So those are a couple of things I was scared about, but we'll see. Hey man, they got to go on the field and prove it here in camp. So we'll definitely see.
yeah, we'll definitely see what Justin Herbert can do out there this year as well.
Ain't no more excuses. Ain't no more excuses for him now, though. You got your 2 tackles back. You got you a pass rusher. Akeem Messidor, he can learn behind Khalil Mack, which is an all-time great pass rusher for I've seen in my eyes. I know about him of his Raider days. He's one of the top 10 pass rushers, top 5 pass rushers of the last 10 years. So that's a great person to learn behind. So hey, man. But my question is, are you gonna get a second contract out of Messidor, or do you say, hey, he'll be 29 when his contract up? Do you want to deal with another contract, or do you want to go somewhere else? So there's questions with the Chargers draft, but hey.
Yeah, with no more excuses. Let's go to the last one here. Kansas City Chiefs. They had 2 first-round picks. And pick 6, they took Mansour Delane, the best cornerback in this draft out of LSU. And then pick 29, they took defensive tackle Peter Woods out of Clemson. In the second round, pick 40, defensive end R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma. And in the fourth round, pick 109, cornerback Jaden Kennedy out of Oregon. And 2 fifth-round picks, 161, running back Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska. Pick 176, wide receiver Cyrus Allen out of Cincinnati. And then they took Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback, in the 7th round at pick 249 at LSU. Mansour Delane, I think I had him out there in 3.0 or 4.0, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then it turn around in the later round in the first, and then you get Peter Woods. So then there's 2 guys that you're going to have 50-year options on when that comes in about 4 years. And you get Peter Woods as a potential Chris Jones, potential Chris Jones replacement. You can have him playing beside him, and to get you another pass rusher in Mason Thomas, another cornerback. I think they did a good job as far as addressing needs. Oh, and then you get you another running back. The Chiefs are famous for drafting running backs in the later rounds anyway. So to get you an Emmett Johnson there, to pair with Kenneth Walker, I think they did a good job of setting Patty up and the rest of this team up.
Yeah, man, I think that they did great. As you can tell, the emphasis of this draft is defense because the first 4 picks is defense, and we know with Mansour Delane, he can play. I think he's a great man coverage corner out of this class. So Spagnuolo gonna be all kind of creative with him sitting blitzes and there, but have him on the island 1-on-1, which a wide receiver 1. So I think that was a good pickup. They traded up to get him at 6, coming up from 9 to 6 to get him. Then to get Peter Woods at the back end of the first round. We know disappointing season in 2025, but as we said for T.J. Parker yesterday with the Bills, 2024 was where you seen the real version of Peter Woods. He give you some. He still got some development to do. He give you some pass rush juice from the inside. I'm a big fan of Peter Woods. And then they go get the fastball R. Mason Thomas off the edge at pick 40. I think that was another home run. Carl Loftus needs some help. Opposite side of him. So they definitely run out this pass rush group. And to get Jaden Kennedy from Oregon to play in the slot for you in the 4th round, I think that'll be a big boost for their slot cornerback. spot. And to get Emmett Johnson, some people had him in the third round, fourth round. To get him in the fifth round, that's plus value to me. I think some people had him as RB3, RB2, depending on who you're talking to. And to get Garrett Nussmeier at picks 249, almost undrafted, that was a little surprising to me. I'm surprised he fell that far. Because remember last year in some mock drafts, people had him going number one overall. So
Yeah.
that's a little surprising. But for this class right here, is get back on defense, get Emmett Johnson to back up Kenneth Walker because you got to take pressure off Patrick Mahomes. And I'm curious to see what Garrett Nussmeier in the seventh round, what he does in camp and OTAs and stuff like that. Because if Mahomes is not ready to go come week one, I wanted to see Garrett Nussmeier because Andy Reid can work with any quarterback that he put on the center. Nick Foles, he had my boy, not Nick Foles, but Kevin Kolb in Philly. He had Alex Smith. He'd have had some quarterbacks that he'd have made some stuff work with. So I wonder if Nussmeier, being a coach's son, his dad is a coach at a New Orleans Saints. So right now, for the people that didn't know. So I wonder if, they can see something from him. If Patty's not ready to go, would they throw him out there week one, week two, until, Mahomes is ready to roll. But nevertheless, I like the first three picks from the Chiefs, getting back to that defensive side of the ball to help this offensive side out that desperately needs some help with the lack of receiver talent that they have on the roster.
for they went defense the first four picks. I think Spags is going to have a field day with this young talent. As much as talent that he gets in there, think about the cornerbacks that he had, and their names don't come to me right now.
Just Jared Sneed, Trent McDuffie's.
Yeah, those guys that come in the late round. There's another guy,
Jalen Watson.
Jalen Watson. I think he went undrafted, I want to say. So
yeah.
When getting those guys around Spags and his camaraderie and like everything that he knows, and I think the Chiefs did a really good job of just addressing everything that they need.
Yeah, man, it's run game. You should see heavy emphasis on the run game with the Chiefs this year, to get Mahomes, comfortable again. He probably gonna be comfortable till November. I didn't see them address the tight end position, which is weird. I know they have. I think Noah Gray is still there. I want to say, or Kelsey last year potentially, quote unquote. So, I don't.
Yeah.
I think Noah Gray is still there.
Yeah.
So maybe they make an in season trade. I don't know, but it's definitely interesting to see that spot and get addressed in the draft.
Jared Wiley, Trey Watson, John Michael Gillenboard, and Jake Brennanstool. Those are your tight ends on the roster right now. So I can, hey, if they make a trade for Kyle Pitts, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I thought they'd be in Njoku too, but he went to the Chargers for 1 year, $8 million though. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. Kyle Pitts might get that money from the Falcons now, off the season he had last year, I believe. But who knows?
Yeah. So I think we did a good job of just attacking everybody in the West. We'll be back maybe tomorrow or the day after, and we'll go through the South to round up the draft recap. Quick announcement: these shirts right here, I am selling them for $20. So if anybody wants a shirt, let me know, and we'll get you taken care of. Help support the brand in a good cause. So, but anything else you have before we get up out of here?
Nah, man, we hit the NFC South next. Then we got the schedule tomorrow. You should see some games start getting leaked today. I'm excited to see how many primetime games Denver have. They got Sean Payton, so they don't get a couple. They probably have 3 or 4. And the NFL is going to put Mendoza on display. He's number 1 overall pick, so I'm excited to see where his primetime game is, who is versus. So. Yeah, man.
One Thursday night game. I can see it.
Oh, for sure. Thursday night game. He might have a Sunday night game depending on where. No. Oh, all right. All right.
I can see a Monday night game.
Yeah, they will definitely give him a Sunday night game. They definitely give him a Sunday night game for sure. It all depends on who and what and where though. If it's early in the season, yes. But if it's late in the season, probably not. But once again, we know some games gonna be flexed out because of whatever. So we know that's gonna happen regardless. So I can see them getting a Sunday night game for sure. Clint Kubiak coming over from the Super Bowl champions, Tom Brady, his cash. It's all about storylines, man. It's all about storylines. We know how the league is, man. We know it's all about storylines, man. What they want to see. Come on, man. You ain't new to this. You're not new to this, man. Come on, man. Number one overall pick. Tom Brady handpicked him. You got this Kubiak coming over from the Super Bowl champions. Come on, man. You know they're gonna give us at least one Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Amon there, but I can't see him getting a Sunday night game depending on who it is. But I'm just gonna call it right now. Either a Sunday night, either a Monday night or a Thursday night. I don't know. You just gotta have that. You gotta have that. When playing on a Sunday night, but I mean it could happen. Just like you said, Brady, and then with the fact that Vegas, they are a team that's got a lot of talent. So we'll see what happened there. My man froze up there, but be on the lookout for the South as we run through the South in the next coming days. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into the channel and subscribing. And
I'm back now. I
yeah,
don't know what happened.
he froze up because he started talking about the Raiders being on Sunday Night Football, and he knows that the football gods ain't even trying.
Yeah, they know I was on some BS there. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm back now. But yeah, man, it's probably gonna be some prime time games. Hey, but I'm interested to see what Denver gets. I'm interested to see what Vegas gets. I'm interested to see what Buffalo get with their new stadium. So yeah, man. Sorry about that, guys out there, but hey, technology, man. What can you do?
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting with the schedule release. They probably put Denver on a bunch of uh, primetime games, being that the season that they had last year, and I hate that because I mean I don't hate it because now you get the exposure, but it's like how they do with those teams that do good the year before, and then all of a sudden you want to give them a bunch of primetime games like they did the Commanders last year, and I think they gave them all those primetime games, and then it's like like the team just kind of fell apart. Plus Jaden, he was injured, so but
They put the
hey.
Broncos on Tuesday for all I care. Put them on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Everybody be sleeping anyway. So
They got to run that Raiders and Broncos Thursday night game back too, so we can put up more than 10 points.
yeah, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, that was
That was
bad.
tough.
That was
That was
bad.
tough.
You got anything else before we get up out of here, bro?
Nah, man, I'm good.
All right, guys. Until then.